Jenna wants to have a much more financial and secure and stable life now and all the way into the future. She currently has 2 kids with her husband Tom, and they live in a small house. Unfortunately, due to the increasing cost of living because of inflation, they are struggling to meet their current living standards and be able to save for the future. With prices quickly increasing, they realize if they can't fix this now, they'll not only fail to secure a financial future, but they also won't be able to bring their kids up in a good home. Jenna, feeling trapped and worried, begins a search on how she can find ways to save money to secure their home budget and to secure their financial future. It's through this search that she ends up finding surprisingly easy to implement 10 things that frugal families do. Through her desperate search for answers on how to save money, she found a blog post written about the importance of a budget. She realizes that she has no idea how much her family spends every month or even how much they earn every month. And without knowing their expenses or even their income, there's no way to know where to cut costs and how to improve their savings. So, Jenna quickly found all of the spending that her and Tom made by searching their credit card and debit card statements, as well as any receipts that they had purchases made with cash. After she added their expenses together, she added the income that both her and her husband Tom bought in every month. Jenna then gasped and realized they were barely breaking even every month. Despite her worry about this undesirable news, she was feeling confident because she discovered the power and importance of creating a budget. The first major expense that Jenna noticed on their budget is the amount that they were spending on eating out. According to her receipts, they were eating out at least 3 times a week. With her desire to have a much better life and future for her family, Jenna discovered the second thing that frugal families do, and that is they only eat out when you can get a discount on your meal. However, a problem then arose with the sudden change in avoiding takeout. Her family needed dinners and food, but Jenna didn't really know how to cook. Luckily for her, her sister Emily is a fantastic cook. Jenna quickly called her sister and asked her for some easy recipes that she could cook for her and her family. Emily was kind enough to give Jenna some awesome recipes that were so easy that somebody with any experience could actually make them. On top of that, Emma was quickly to mention how much cheaper it is to cook her own food, and that's where Jenna learned her third frugal living family tip. As Jenna was about to start making one of her dinners, she realized that she was missing a couple of ingredients. She said this out loud while she was still on FaceTime with her sister. But just as Jenna was telling her sister that she would have to call her later to go buy ingredients, Emily was quickly to tell her that if she's going to save money on her grocery bill, that she should only go shop if she has more than 10 items to buy. So, Jenna added a 4th frugal family living tip to her newfound list, and she was given a free pass from her sister, who guided her through cooking an extravagant meal with items that Jenna had in her pantry. With Jenna awake and feeling rejuvenated by her new frugal learnings, she was bombarded with her oldest child yelling and crying for her. She immediately got up from her chair to go see what was wrong. Jenna's little baby boy was crying because he tore his favorite shirt. Unfortunately, the hole in the shirt was well beyond repair, so she was on the hunt for buying some new clothes. This made Jenna sad because she'd been seeing progress with her savings, and now they had to spend money on buying clothes. She remembered how much they spent on clothes monthly for their children and gave her chills just thinking about it. She knew that she needed a solution. Just by an amazing coincidence, Jenna's car was stuck in major traffic in front of a thrift store. It was almost as if the store was calling her name when she realized the 5th living tip that she would add to her growing list. Jenna vowed that she would only buy clothes from secondhand stores to save money. Unfortunately for her, she managed to find the exact same shirt which her son had worn for just a fraction of the price she bought it. After a hectic and busy day, it was time for Jenna to unwind. As she got herself cozy on the couch for some popcorn, she began scanning through Netflix. And when she couldn't find anything there, she searched through Amazon Prime. Unfortunately, there was nothing worth watching, so she tried Disney Plus, when she finally got a notification on her phone about a new streaming service with a show that they offered. Just as she was about to sign up, she caught a glimpse of her budget on the coffee table and remembered just how much she spent on that streaming service. She asked herself if she really needed to have over 3 streaming services just to watch a show for an hour every night before bed. With her answer being a hard no, she canceled all of her streaming services and only focused on using Netflix, where she added the 6th frugal living family tip. Jenna was excited to wake up the next morning because it meant that she got to hang out with her best friend Sarah. They planned to take their kids and go for a walk in the park. And finally, when Jenna met up with Sarah, she noticed that Sarah's 2-year-old was playing with a large bottle cap. A bit confused, Jenna asked why Sarah's daughter was playing with a bottle cap, to which Sarah responded that kids really don't need a lot to entertain themselves, and giving them items that they can use with their creativity and imagination will help them develop great critical thinking skills. Jenna then thought about how her children has many toys which are totally unused. She realized how much her younger one loves to play with spoons because of how shiny they are and the sound they make against different objects. It was here that Jenna learned her 7th frugal living tip on her list, which was to use things around the house for children's toys instead of just buying new ones. As the hangout continued, the inevitable diaper change of Jenna and Sarah's babies happened. While Jenna had several diapers packed, Sarah only packed cotton cloths. Jenna quickly asked why Sarah was using cloths, to which Sarah responded that it was much cheaper to use cloth because they were reusable, and not to mention they take up less space. Jenna was sold on the idea and immediately took the time to buy some cotton cloth diapers, and that ended up making it the 8th frugal living family tip that she added to her list. At the end of the hangout with Sarah, Sarah then asked Jenna if she was still on to babysit her kids later that week, so that Sarah and her husband could go on their anniversary dinner. Jenna happily answered yes, but then remembered that she needed to find a babysitter of her own kids so she could visit her parents with Tom for a celebration they'd been planning ages ago. A light bulb then went off in Jenna's head when she quickly called out to Sarah if she was willing to babysit her kids, as a trade-off instead of their usual baked goods she received. Sarah said how it was a perfect timing because she actually had the whole day off. Actually, because of this event, Sarah and Jenna swapped their babysitting service to each other. Jenna then added her 9th frugal living tip, which was to swap babysitting services with friends and family and to avoid having to pay for a babysitter. As Jenna's newfound frugal tips started to show how positively they've affected their financial situation, the dreaded holiday season started to approach. Jenna's worries were how much they would have to spend, considering how expensive Tom's family was. Jenna scoured the internet, trying to look for ways to lower her spending on gifts. The common tip of making your own gifts was out of the question for Jenna. She wasn't savvy enough to make it all work, and neither did she have enough time. She then stumbled upon a YouTube video that said to make a limit on how much you're willing to spend with gifts. The video was actually a challenging video, which urged the viewers to only spend $5 per person for gifts. While this was a very difficult task for Jenna to accomplish, she was determined to see it through. Jenna managed to buy everybody on their expensive holiday list a gift for a maximum of $5, and everyone was absolutely thrilled with what they got. Jenna then noted her 10th frugal living family tip on her list, which was to set a limit price for gifts. After her discovery of 10 things frugal families do, Jenna and Tom managed to easily make ends meet through stable finances and were quickly and considerably saving up for retirement. Plus, they were even able to start saving for a brand new and much bigger home.